We interrupt this program to bring you a special announcement. It's here. It's my Patreon. Here are the coin supporters, and you can join them in the description. Help these videos continue being made, such as new ones for me to do. And last announcement. This is the last Cartoon Network 64 episode for a while. I'll take a hiatus from the marathon so that way I can get back to my Reanimation reviews. Next up after this video is Reanimation Review 57, The Scoob Movie, a movie that I don't like. But today we get to review Courage the Cowardly Dog, a show with the cutest dog in animation history, and with amazing facial expressions, and Muriel, the woman who saved Courage when she was a pup, and Eustace, who just doesn't care and hates Courage. Go, Courage, go! Sponsored by Courage!
Stupid dog! You made me look bad! Cartoon Friday!
Courage. I was also not allowed to watch this show growing up, just like Ed, Edd and Eddy. Unlike Ed, Edd and Eddy, I kind of see why. This is not a show for kids. To the point that I'm actually surprised that this is a kid's show, because this show is scary.
Not to be. I have found it.
Return the slab.
Granted, a teenager could watch this like TV 14 or 13 plus for the internet, like how 100% of all my videos are for audiences only 13 and older, not 12 and under due to COPPA. Anywho, I love this show and it's my favorite Cartoon Network show of the 90s, despite the fact that most of the show occurred in the 2000s and its best episodes were in season 4, which took place in 2002, but whatever. The show is determined by what decade it started. If you start in the 1990s, then you're a 90s show, even if most of your show took place in the 2000s, because that's what people believe in. Animation is known as the medium that you could do anything in, and Courage definitely takes advantage of that. My personal favorite thing that Courage the dog specifically does is because he's bad at speaking English, as the show shows us. So whenever he can't communicate to Muriel or Eustace or whoever, he transforms himself into various shapes. Like the pilot episode with the chicken from outer space, Courage transforms into a UFO. The concept of this show is pretty simple. A pink dog has to deal with creepy things that come to nowhere. No, that's the actual name of the city, or town, place? Let's call it farm. It's the actual name of the location, in Kansas. I have no idea if the writers knew that was a real place in Kansas or not. It's a real fun show to watch. Even my least favorite episode, Ball of Revenge, it's just bad continuity with Eustace being a bigger asshole than usual. That's like level 1 hating a cartoon episode. I've seen way worse shit in my 3.5 years of doing my reviews. The show is fun for that it is a horror show. And honestly, I can't really think of any other horror show. Yeah, you could argue shows like The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy and Invader Zim are horror shows, but they kind of focus more on comedy than horror, unless you're talking about the episode Dark Harvest.
I've been working out.
Courage is a show that legit creeps me out. Even as an adult at the age of 23, soon to be 24, so much shit has happened in 2020 alone. Then again, maybe I should be lucky that I don't have Courage's life. Before we talk about our villains, let's go with the 3 main characters. Starting with Courage. I love him. Courage is my absolute favorite dog in animation. He's got fun catchphrases, as do all 3 of them.
Things I do for love.
What did I do?
He's cute like my dog Shadow. Always fun to be around, just makes everyone's lives present. Courage helps Muriel through almost any situation, whether it be saving Muriel from an evil army of eggplants that want water, saving Muriel from getting eaten by a tiger, or to save Muriel from transforming into a puppet for a performing alligator. Yes, that was an episode called The Great Fusili. The episode ended, by the way, with Muriel and Eustace still living as creepy puppets, so Courage was now able to control them. It was Courage that was the true puppet master. Muriel is one of the sweetest pet owners I have ever seen in animation, and considering the last show that I reviewed, that's a relief for me. As the theme song goes, when Courage was abandoned as a pup, she found Courage. About that, let's talk about that episode where Courage was abandoned. It's one of the season finale episodes, and I think it did a great job in explaining everything that the show built up. And it was nice seeing Courage's parents. Though I still prefer the episode Perfect, but we'll save that for the end. And finally, there's Eustace. It's a guy that you love to hate. Same here. This may come off as weird for me to say considering that this is right after Mike, Lou, and Og, but what makes Eustace work for abusing Courage but not Lou abusing Lancelot? In fact, Eustace does the abuse more, so that means he has to be worse. Well, not really. I mean, it's not that Courage is bad or anything, but there's a reason for making Eustace work. Number one, and most obviously, is that Eustace actually has to pay for his crimes in every single episode. Often he gets hit in the head with a rolling pin from Muriel. I mean, take a look at King Ramses.
Return the slab.
What?
Return the slab, or therefore suffer my curse.
When Eustace keeps the slack for himself so that way he could get $1 million, 3 curses fall upon him, including a flood, annoying music, which I laughed my ass off when I first saw it this month, and locusts. And when Eustace still refuses to give it back, well, he ends up in Egypt buried forever. So he has to pay. Though King Ramses' curse might not be the best example since Muriel and Courage also have to suffer along the way. How about the curse of Shirley? When Eustace doesn't give anything nice to this chihuahua named Shirley, she puts a curse on Eustace, and Eustace acts like a selfish idiot throughout the whole episode.
The stupid one. He's stupid, right?
A lot of Eustace's motives I actually understand. Where with Lou I hate and don't understand because she's a stubborn bitch that gets what she wants with a bad father. Eustace was a guy that didn't grow up getting what he wanted. His mother hated him, and his brother was way better than him. Horst, i.e. Eustace's older brother, was a skill hunter, a remarkable explorer, and collected several $1 billion over his lifetime. So Eustace suffered from parental favoritism. Also, he stated that he couldn't grow anything on the farm for 50 years, and in The Magic Tree of Nowhere, Courage grew a tree in 50 seconds. Honestly, I understand where Eustace is coming from. Now, that doesn't mean that I agree with his motives, but I understand where he is coming from. I mean, in The Curse of Shirley, he's not nice to anyone.
Excuse me, sir, but would you please help me across the street?
You got legs, don't you? Help yourself.
That is until he gives his hat to Courage, thinking it's his past sad self.
No hat. That's not right.
I mean, yeah, Eustace is technically stubborn as well,
No, sir. Not get out of this chair.
but like I said, he's funny with it, and actually pays for his consequences. In the episode The Last of the Star Makers, which is one of the saddest cartoon episodes I have ever seen by the way, he gets the government to sell the space squid for $1 million that he does not own. So it turns out that the government just gave Eustace rocket fuel instead of $1 million. Seriously, the episode is beautiful, with beautiful music. That puts tears in me eyes every single time. Though the biggest jerk of the show is not Eustace, that would actually be Muriel.
Ah, Courage, you're part of the miracle of birth, you are. I'll call you Courage. We'll have a grand time.
Oh no, I'm not talking about adult Muriel, I'm talking about child Muriel, who is 3.5 years old. And she likes making a mess out of everything. She also has the same voice as Lil from Rugrats. That's Cat Susie, by the way.
Too much macaroni! Oh, perfect! I hate macaroni and cheese.
In that episode, by the way, they say that tornadoes in the southern hemisphere rotate in the opposite direction, which I found to be bullshit. But I did some research to see if that was true, and it turns out they are actually right about that. I did not know that. I honestly thought that was a joke, or just some random plot device pulled out of their ass. But no, that's an actual real thing. That just makes the episode even better. I love how the intro for each of the seasons show different clips of each of the villains that we get to see for the season in question. It's kind of a nice preview in all reality. And finally, we get to our villains, or rather, monsters. This is what people remember about the show. Whether it's bad guys like the Black Puddle Queen, Cats, or Freaky Fred, good guys like the Hunchback of Nowhere, the Star Makers, and Shirley, or ones in the middle like Robot Randy, the Eggplants, and the son of the Chicken from Outer Space. It's hard for me to pick an absolute favorite. It's what made this show dark. They say that this show is from the perspective from a real-life dog, as in what a real dog thinks of humans. Think like how a dog always barks at the mailman, that kind of feel. That's not really true considering the episode Robot Randy. Eustace is listening to the robot commands, like he acknowledges that it exists. Also, I love how that robot would rather whittle than be a leader. That may be a little more obscure, but Freaky Fred I know is memorable. He is certainly a guy that is naughty.
Which I say did encourage me to be quite naughty.
I can see why this episode got a reanime collab, which is really awesome. Too bad YouTube made it kid related, otherwise I would have commented on it. Seriously, this could break COPPA rules. I hate the present. Can we talk about reanime collabs for a quick minute? I wish we had them more often. Not for Courage per se, though that would still be cool, but just in general. I happen to be doing one right now for Friendship is Magic, and you can join in the description. I hope to get it done on the show's 10th anniversary, which will be this October 10th. Many more villains were interesting, like Fissionary, who was a female fish that took advantage of the Bag farmhouse, or the Black Puddle Queen, which came to the closest to killing Eustace, or Big Toe, which took over Eustace's foot. Ooh, how about that mattress demon that possessed Muriel, or the episode where Muriel meets her evil counterpart in the season 3 premiere. Yeah, that happened. And The Mask is just creepy altogether. The Mask is one of my favorite episodes. Hey, remember that Family Guy episode Screams of Silence? You know, the worst animation in all of existence, showing dangerous abuse and saying that you're not a real woman if you're in an abusive relationship? Well, The Mask is that episode done right. In fact, The Mask is scarier in the abuse alone. And remember, Courage is a kid's show. Yeah, looking back, I really see why I wasn't allowed to watch this show. This isn't like the other shows I wasn't allowed to watch as a kid, like Avatar, The Last Airbender for having one bad message, or Ed, Edd n Eddy for being too stupid. Yes, really. Courage is a show that should have been for adults, or at least teenagers. It's also worth noting that Courage the Cowardly Dog might just be the first ever kids cartoon to have LGBT representation, and considering that it's Pride Month, it's worth talking about this.
I was wrong, Bunny. Not all dogs are bad. Can be best friends forever.
At the end of The Mask, we see Kitty and Bunny, who are both female adults, get together on a train, and it's shown that they are in love. This is the first ever Cartoon Network cartoon to show off the first lesbian couple. Yes, even before Steven Universe, even before Clarence, even before Kirk of the Creek, and even before We Bear Bear. Yeah, Courage was the pioneer of it all. I don't know if I will ever talk about Courage the show ever again in any of my future reviews. There's a lot that I could say, but if you want to hear more on the show right now, Alpha J did a good job on the show recently with his rise and fall on the series, which I'll leave a link in the description. I kinda do want to maybe do like a top 10 best episodes of this show, because it is awesome. And it's definitely a show that you should watch in October, along with Over the Garden Wall. Those are like the two perfect Cartoon Network cartoons to watch in the month of Halloween. I guess to end this review off, let's talk about my favorite episode of the show, the series finale, Perfect. Perfect is perfect. Yeah, obvious pun, but I truly do mean it, to the point that it's in my top 10 favorite animations of all time. And it's even my favorite series finale in animation. Yes, even more than My Little Pony Friendship is Magic series finale, more than Little Witch Academia series finale, and even more than the Steven Universe series finale. The episode is about Courage trying to be perfect, not for Eustace's benefit, but in general. And there's a teacher that's not even real, but she makes Courage cry.
You're not the least bit perfect.
See, the teacher is a manifestation of Courage's imagination. No one else can see him. No, Eustace didn't hire her. Why else would she melt at the end? But I'm getting ahead of myself. Courage has always been rumored that he could see things, but the other two couldn't. Though the puppet episode would disagree with that theory, but here the theory is 100% true. And I imagine that if you watch this episode for the first time ever, you might have thought that the teacher was real, but she's not. She tells Courage to do everything perfectly, and it's based off the real life moral of trying to be the best. They even compare it to the people better than me. Some people in real life are gonna have better luck than me. More money, more skill, more passionate on the project about a single thing, and just better in general. I struggle with this problem a lot. My friends that I talk to also struggle with this issue, but this episode helps calm my problem on that issue.
There's no such thing as perfect.
And yeah, sometimes a fish in a bathtub is all that it takes to learn that moral.
All your imperfections, you can do anything.
And considering the previous night when Courage had 5 strange dreams involving a blue demon trumpet and accidentally killing Muriel, he needed to hear that. And when Courage draws a number 6 the way that he prefers, the teacher melts away. This show is a horror show, but I can often laugh a lot at it. I think Courage in and of himself is why this was able to pass as a kid's cartoon. If it was just about Eustace and Muriel and no third entity, this would definitely have to be an adult cartoon. I heard that this show was cancelled because Cartoon Network wanted to sell Courage the Cowardly Dog merchandise, but they couldn't because Courage was pink and they didn't want to mark this as a girl's product. Though that's just a rumor. I mean, Blue from Blue's Clues is blue, but she's a girl, and both boys and girls loved her, so I don't get what Cartoon Network was thinking with Courage. But yeah, this is definitely my favorite Cartoon Network cartoon of the 90s, and it's even in my top 10 favorite cartoons of all time. Not my favorite Cartoon Network cartoon ever, but so far for this list, it's the best show. If you're into horror, this is the show for you, because there was no show like it around at the time, and to be honest, since. It's a definite pass. Go watch this amazing show. Courage is not a stupid dog. He's courageous. This show is perfect. Alright, I'm taking a break from this marathon. Scuba's next. I think I'll resume this marathon sometime in the fall. Maybe before that for 1 or 2 episodes, but not until the fall for the general marathon. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you for more videos in the future. Let's hope it's a brighter future.
Coming up next, it's...
Sheep in the big city.